Welcome to Spiritual Dessert Trews, episode for Russell Brand 49. I am coming back from a yoga dinner for my birthday again. We are on chapter 4, growing up. St. Therese. In writing about this visit to Carmel, my mind goes back to my first visit after you entered. She's writing to her sister. I was wondering that morning what name they would give me when I got there. I could not bear to lose my lovely Therese, and yet I knew you already had Therese of Jesus. And I had a great devotion to the child Jesus, and suddenly thought how wonderful it would be if I'd be called Therese of the child Jesus. She's a big kid is what she was. I never mentioned this to anyone, and you can guess how surprised and delighted I was when Reverend Mother had said in the middle of our conversation, "When you join us, my dear, you will be called Therese of the child Jesus." This harmony of thought seemed a gracious sign from my beloved little Jesus himself. As far, I have said nothing about how much I loved pictures and books, and yet it is to the beautiful pictures you used to show me that I owe some of the greatest joys and the strongest inspiration in my efforts to practice virtue. And I lost all sense of time when I was looking at them. There was this little flower of the divine prisoner, for example. I used to be quite carried away by all it suggested to me, and I told Jesus I was to be his little flower. I wanted to give him consolation, to draw him near to the tabernacle, and to be watched over, tended, and gathered. That's pretty darn adorable. I love flowers. I'd like to tend to them too. I was no good at games. Yeah, I'm not either. You guys keep inviting me. No time for games. I'm busy trying to save the world. I would have spent most of my time reading. That's what I'm doing. Luckily, I had visible guardian angels who guided me here and chose the sorts of books I needed. Books which nourished my mind and heart as well as keeping me amused. I was only allowed a certain time for this favorite occupation, and it often meant great sacrifice, for I used to put my book away the moment time was up. Even if I was halfway through the most fascinating passage, I must admit that when I read certain tales of chivalry, I did not always grasp the realities of life. In my enthusiasm, I wanted to do all the patriotic things that the heroines of France had done, especially Joan of Arc. Can you just see her? It's just so funny. What a character. It was at this time that I was given what I was always considered one of my life's greatest graces. For God did not enlighten me then in the way that he does now. He taught me that not only the glory which matters is the glory which lasts forever, and one does not have to perform shining deeds to win that, but to hide one's own acts of virtue from others, and even from oneself, so that the left hand does not know what the right hand is doing. So that means like giving charity, but not remembering you did it. I was sure that I was born to be great, and began to wonder how I should set about winning my glory. Then it was revealed to me in my heart that my glory would lie in becoming a saint, though this glory would be hidden on earth. Lots of times it's like that. You didn't even suspect. St. Francis, like a spoiled child. And he just started giving everything away. I think his dad was aggravated. He didn't suspect. I'm not relying on my own merits because I haven't any. I hope in him who is the virtue of sanctity itself. He alone, content with all my frail efforts. Oh, it's working. The sleepy time story. Yes, will lift me up to himself and clothe me with his own merits and make me a saint. I did not realize in those days that one had to go through much suffering to become a saint. Yeah, don't even say the prayer is dangerous. Yes, you talk about martyrdom and you get some. That's not cool. It's on my birthday. Not nice. I did not realize in those days. Oh, okay. Good. Yes. But God soon brought this home to me by the trials I've told you about already. But to go back to my story, 3 months after I was cured, Father, I'm fighting off the odds. Aren't you sleepy yet? I'm getting there. Good. I began to see something of the world. All around me was joy and happiness. I was entertained, pampered, admired. In fact, for a whole fortnight, I don't even use that word anymore, my path was strewn with flowers. But those words of the Book of Wisdom are only too true. The bewitching of vanity overturneth the innocent mind. When you're only 10, your heart is fascinated very easily, and I must admit that I found this life kind of charming. The world is able to combine so well the search for pleasure with the service of God, forgetting death. Yet it has come to so many rich and happy people I used to know. My mind goes back to their enchanting homes. I can't help wondering what used to them now. Are those chateau estates where they enjoyed all the world could offer? And I realize all is vanity, save loving God and serving Him alone. I think Jesus wanted me to see something of the world before He came to me for the first time, so that I might choose more surely that path on which I promised to follow. My first communion will always be a perfect memory, and I'm sure I could not have been better prepared than I was. Do you remember the little wonderful book you gave me 3 months before the great day? I was set out so beautifully and prepared me surely step by step, even though I've been thinking for so long about my first communion. I had to renew my ardor and fill my heart with freshly gathered flowers. So every day I made many sacrifices and acts of love, which were transformed into flowers. Some were violets, roses, others cornflowers, daisies, forget-me-nots. I wanted all the flowers on earth to cradle Jesus in my heart. Marie took your place, and I spent hours every evening listening to all the lovely things she said to me. She passed her fine and generous spirit unto mine, and as warriors of old used to teach their sons the use of arms, she trained me for life's battle, stirring up my fervor by showing me the glorious palm of victory. You definitely need some armor. There's going to be some vampires. See your happiness coming and want to just snatch it up. Leave you for dead and dry. Thank the good Lord that I had a wonderful healing. Thank you. A birthday gift from dear friend. Kisses. Oh, that was a great gift to replenish and nurture my spirit and soul so I could come back to all of you. Anyway, she told me too about the immortal riches that one can amass so easily day by day, and of the foolishness of trampled underfoot treasures one can make one's own by merely stooping to pick them up. She was so eloquent. I wished others could have heard her too. For in my simplicity, I was sure she could have converted the most hardened of sinners. Hey, we need her. And made them leave the riches that will fade for those of heaven. Pleasant dreams. Nighty night. Thank you, everyone. Love you.